Hello, our friends, Evolutionary, EEARTS, Heart's Home Family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So this one's going to be quick, but it feels very important, as there are some things to touch on today that are very pressing and a little bit disconcerting given some other information that we've been getting lately. Make sure you are subscribed to all three channels, Evolutionary, EEARTS, and also Heart's Home. And thank you also for basically putting these videos wherever you can, as again, this is a fight against censorship in the highest levels, because they don't want us getting out what the next moves are, what the big things are we're going to be facing. And, not just us getting information from the guides. When was it we first saw something that looked hemorrhagic? That was like 2 years ago, right? It was right when the beginning of the plague upon the land was happening. The guides were warning us that there will be something that comes along where you just stay indoors. You truly do avoid contact with people entirely. And, you just stay put till it runs its course and be as safe as possible. Now, that doesn't mean that this is it. But, again, you got to always look and observe in these times. After all, we're in the apocalypse, the great reveal. And part of that reveal is the fact that every single move has been telegraphed ahead of time.
Right, and because of the visions that we've had, and actually we've heard this from other people too, so it's kind of a wide range vision. When we see stuff come up, we definitely watch closer.
Okay, so I'll give you this article. Symptoms of killer virus spreading across Europe, and it's highly likely to reach UK. Urgent health warning has been issued for what has been described as the current biggest threat to public health over new cases of Crimean-Congo hemorrhagic fever. New cases of a killer virus are spreading across Europe, with experts warning it could reach the UK. It's been described as the current biggest threat to public health after breaking out in Iraq and Namibia. Crimean-Congo hemorrhagic fever, CCHF, has also caused 2 reported deaths in Pakistan, with several cases reported in Spain. Last week, insiders speaking to Parliament's Science Innovation Technology Committee revealed it was highly likely that there could soon be cases in the UK. I'm not doing good this morning because we didn't have a full cup of coffee yet, and I just saw these things and I was like, we got to get this out now just to let you guys know what they're saying. During the hearing, James Wood, head of veterinary medicine at Cambridge, said CCHF could find its way to the UK through our ticks at some point. The disease is caused by norovirus, a condition that's spread by ticks, and according to the WHO, has a fatality rate between 10 and 40%. That's huge. Typically, the conditions found at small stages in Africa, the Balkans, the Middle East, and Asia. However, it could be expanding out of its usual territories, moving towards the likes of Britain and France due to climate change. Yes, and we kid you not. The likes of Spain were already seeing cases of the disease. Newsweek reported WHO noted CCHF was among its 9 priority diseases, a system that lays bare the biggest public health risks. And then it gives symptoms, which we'll just give you guys the link as always, because I don't want to cause any false things amongst people that are very, very influential. Right. Yet again, not just us, but others have seen that something very big, very real, very, very dark, and something you want to avoid at all costs would be coming down the line, as would that WW3, which right now you're going to have a NATO meeting, and it's just so obvious they're completely hell-bent on manufacturing WW3. And then over here in Latin America, you have Peruvian authorities reported a spike in cases of Guillain-Barre syndrome, which can cause temporary paralysis. We were showing a picture there of the Canadian leader, flipping pancakes, and one hand was doing all sorts of weird things. And I noticed, like, everybody on Twitter was noticing that yesterday and making note of it. Now, again, there's, I think, 3 Trudeaus is what we've gotten.
That's what we've gotten.
Yeah, so there are 3. So at least one of them has this issue. As the world has woke up to so many crazy things, like 7 Bidens, and it's obvious, the earlobes don't match Trudeau's. There's a chunky one. It's just gotten crazy. But this is all part of the reveal. We've been watching theater the whole time, yet very real consequences. People do die in these endeavors, these wars that never stop. People do die to different diseases or, the attempted CURESs for those things. So Peru has a state of emergency amid a rise in cases of this rare autoimmune disease, Guillain-Barre syndrome. Nearly 200 incidences reported in recent months, with authorities allocating over $3 million to procure drugs for treatment. The measure, which will last 90 days, was announced by the Peruvian health minister. Now, it's interesting. This is a neurodegenerative disease, so it affects the CNS, the central nervous system. It's often preceded by bacterial or viral infection or by ouchie administration or by surgery. No cure. They just try to alleviate the symptoms. Yeah, looking forward to your comments there. Going back to this one, these little guys, we've gotten from the guides. And again, for those that are watching this maybe for the first time, Cindy and I are not just people that follow the news, especially when it comes to Cindy. She has unique abilities, and she is a channel. She is a trance channel. She is also able to channel without going into full trance. And both of us have, really dedicate our lives to our spiritual practice, which includes meditation on a daily basis, qigong, yoga, and contacting the other densities that are out there. And what we have gotten is these little guys were purposely brought here. They're not actually indigenous to the earth, and they're being used to exactly do what you see they're said to be doing here. And things like Lyme disease and, Rocky Mountain spotted fever and so many other issues have been, in our opinion, from the information we've gotten, purposely spread via these little vectors.
And what they have done is it's almost like they have changed lately. They're morphing. Their ability to move, they've gotten a lot faster, and that's what we've noticed. And there's a couple things you can do to keep yourself safe. I wouldn't put any of the stuff that they sell in the store on my skin, like DEET. No. But eucalyptus, they really don't like eucalyptus. And I've heard lemongrass and peppermint, but eucalyptus essential oil on the skin, they really don't seem to, that's yucky to them.
Yeah, absolutely. We do use a lot of essential oils. We always have a good stock on them. So, that's something. Again, the cases, unfortunately, often the cure is much worse than the actual disease, even if the disease is bad. So just wanted to touch on that. And this was just a little stat from C. Collins, Psychology and Law. Did you know that American children receive now 73 ouchies by 18 years old? That's just enormous. I don't know what her age is, but she received 24. Her mother received 6. Grandmother received 3. Well, I guess I am in that grandmother category there, of course, grandfather. But, at the same time, I don't know how it happened, but I escaped some of them. Yeah, I really haven't really had much, and I don't know if I've had any, honestly, truthfully. I just, it could have been with my brother being sick. I don't know. But anyway, the laws have changed over time. 54% of American children have lifelong chronic disease as of 2015. 20% when she was a child, 12% when her mother was a child, 1.8% when grandma was a child. Doesn't that tell you a lot? There's a lot of conclusions you can make there.
I know, it's really awful, and somehow I escaped most of those too.
And then these numbers, if they are real, now there is a chance that, again, this is coming out of NOAA. We can't trust NOAA. We can't trust anything official. That's what people are waking up to. As somebody that lived in Sarasota, Venice, Port Charlotte, in many West Coast, very, very warm beach water is the norm, but not this warm. This is really abnormal if these numbers are true. Key West, 92 degrees, Vaca Key, 94.3, Johnson Key, 95.7. The peak temperatures don't usually get that hot. Now, I got to be suspicious of the numbers, and that's my normal thing is they're just flubbing the numbers. Yet, what we've gotten from the guides, and it keeps repeating itself, are different symbolic visions of dragons stirring things. And we were getting information about the ocean, and then I see this morning. Because the ocean's getting so much more polluted all the time, and the guides were coming through last night talking about different beings that do live in the ocean, which are very, very intelligent. And there's many myths and legends about them, which are based on fact. And, at the same time, the water in the ocean is truly, we've seen red tide, we've seen all these different algae blooms. The oceans are hurting. Mother Earth is holding off her big changes as long as she can, and she wants to release them slowly. Meanwhile, there's technologies in place that are trying to get them to all go at once. And they're also trying to make things worse. Again, everything that we're facing right now, if it wasn't being triggered by technology, it would come years, decades, or even generations down the line in a smoother way. Everything is being aggravated with the technologies because it's part of the agenda. So they were saying that the volcanoes are going to help the purification process. And they were mentioning the volcanoes in conjunction with volcanic emissions in the waters. And, so that really, when I see these numbers, that really gets me wondering.
Yeah, that's definitely really curious there after last night.
Temperatures like that could make for hurricanes we'd never seen before. So, finding like an all new number or two on the scale. Again, the guides had told us to head towards the middle when we were looking at different possibilities. They said head towards the middle, meaning the middle of the country, for what's coming. And they said avoid the coastlines to us. So, that's what we've done. And, if this is the case, then we might be seeing the equivalent of Cat 6 hurricanes, because we know there's always augmentation that can happen, steering as well. This is just something that really is very, very concerning. 1,000-year rainfall event batters Hudson Valley with flash floods. 8 inches of rain in the Hudson Valley. Beautiful area. By the way, here you have Route 218 from Cornwall to West Point. The road just totally washed out. You got cars swamped. You could barely see them. Again, we were just watching people in Spain. A whole bunch of them looked like they were boogie boarding on the roofs of their car. This situation we're finding all over the place. And it's coming right at the time when all you see is climate change, climate change, climate change. A Category 6 equivalent hurricane or 2 or 3 rolling through most certainly will be something that they'll all be pointing towards and saying, look at that, climate change right now. We got to implement that CBDC right now. State of emergency for Orange County. Yeah, massive floods, dozens dead, hundreds stranded, torrential rains in northern India, homes, bridges swept away. Same thing that we're seeing. We're seeing this all over the globe. And then here you go, 2 days from running wide open on wheat harvest, and some of the best yields in the state absolutely gone. Corn gone also. This is in Kansas, and this is hail that wiped out a whole bunch of crops by coincidence in Kansas. There are no coincidences. And we've been watching what's going to be a big eruptive event, probably up in Iceland. There's massive swarms going on there right now. 5.1, there's not a lot of big ones. We have a 5.6 over in Chile. That was at 100 plus kilometers deep. 5.0 Kermadec Islands, 5.3 Vanuatu, and this was, I believe, a 5.1 here too. Yeah, in Japan. It is actually very quiet for a very long period of time. That's ominous, because again, what we have gotten is they are trying to trigger Cascadia, San Andreas. That'll shift the energy over to the new Madrid. By the way, October is another eclipse, and we'll cover that in a separate one again. The eclipses are huge markers because, again, that first eclipse in August 2017, everything ramped up. This is the next big eclipse after it. It comes into Oregon, goes out of Texas. To me, that looks like a lot of border area. It feels like the war starts in earnest somewhere around there, and I would not be surprised at all if we had huge, quote-unquote, earth change type of events at that point in time, leading into 2024, which I do think is going to be the most challenging year that we will have faced so far. And this is curious, right? This is filmed on the island of White. And I asked Cindy, and she said right away, this, feels like our technology. There's a lot of the triangles are ours. We've seen so many triangles. We've been blasted by a triangle purposefully. But what you're watching is a vessel that truly may have humans and extraterrestrials on it, even though it is one of ours.
When you see those things, you can actually feel it. If you still yourself for a moment, you can feel the energy inside of those, and it is very different than watching just any old thing fly by.
This is mechanical. So when we see like Galactic Federation vehicles, they're plasma ships, and you have also a lot of beings that come and visit that are just simply in a Merkaba, a light body. This guy's ready to get out of there. Come on, Dad, let's go. Let's head to the beach. What we're looking at with that is again, it's a mechanical ship. It's technology that's kind of mind-blowing for the masses, but at the same time, no, it's been around for a very long time.
Indeed.
As always, guys, thanks for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. We couldn't do it without you guys. Stay prepared. Much love. God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.